Jeong Jin-man. On the surface, he's just a quiet, unassuming uncle, running a little repair shop in a back alley. Harmless, right? Wrong. To anyone who ventures too close, Jin-man is a storm waiting to strike, precise, calculated, and always 3 steps ahead of everyone else. In A Shop for Killers, Jin-man isn't just a background player. He's the quiet heartbeat of the show's tension. Every glance, every decision, pulls the story in a new direction. He blurs the line between a devoted family man and a lethal assassin in ways that keep us hooked. Today, we're diving deep into what makes Jeong Jin-man one of the most fascinating characters in this drama. From his stoic facade to his fierce protection of Jian, and yes, his cold, ruthless efficiency, we're peeling back the layers to understand why he's the anti-hero we can't help but root for. Ready to meet the man behind the shadows? Let's dive in. Before he became the quiet, protective uncle we know, Jeong Jin-man was a name whispered in fear among mercenaries. His reputation? Legendary. His precision? Flawless. And his code of conduct? Unyielding. Unlike many of his peers in the covert organization Babylon, Jin-man followed a moral compass, rare in a world where ethics often meant weakness. His mission wasn't just about completing the job, it was about minimizing harm, especially to civilians. He wasn't just a mercenary. He was a strategist. A man with a code. But every legend needs a rival. Enter Bale, a mercenary who thrived on chaos. Where Jin-man saw lives to protect, Bale saw obstacles to eliminate. Jin-man believed even in war, there are lines you don't cross. Bale? He saw those lines as suggestions, optional at best, inconvenient at worst. Jin-man valued precision over recklessness, always thinking 2 steps ahead. Bale, on the other hand, thrived on brute force and risk, often putting missions and lives in jeopardy. Their rivalry reached a boiling point during a mission that was supposed to be routine. Bale, ignoring Jin-man's orders, unleashed violence on innocent civilians, women and children who had no connection to their objective. Jin-man demanded accountability. Bale's response? Our boss assured me there would be no civilians. To him, it wasn't a crime, it was collateral damage. After the massacre, Jin-man had a choice: expose Bale or protect him. He chose the latter, but not out of trust. It was a strategic move. By keeping Bale away from his operations, Jin-man believed he could contain the chaos. It was a gamble, a calculated risk to manage an unpredictable element. But fate had other plans. Despite their agreement, they were paired for one last mission. And once again, Bale's disregard for human life forced Jin-man's hand. The battle wasn't just about survival, it was a clash of principles. With Minhai's help, Jin-man overpowered Bale, ending their partnership and sealing his decision to leave Babylon for good. This confrontation with Bale was a turning point. It marked the end of Jin-man's life as a mercenary. Disillusioned by the violence and betrayal, he disappeared from Babylon, seeking a new life far from the bloodshed. But as we know, the shadows of his past didn't disappear. They followed him into his new life, into his role as Jian's guardian. Let's explore how Jin-man's experiences as a mercenary shaped the way he raised and trained his niece. After the devastating loss of her parents, Jian could have been consumed by grief. But Jeong Jin-man stepped in, not just as an uncle, but as a shield, a mentor, and in many ways, the father she never had. Despite his turbulent past as a mercenary, he offered Jian something precious: stability wrapped in unconditional love. Yet beneath the surface, his every action was preparing her for a future far from ordinary. To the outside world, Jin-man was a devoted guardian, ensuring Jian experienced a normal childhood filled with school, friends, and innocent joy. But hidden within those everyday moments were lessons designed to protect her from the shadows of his past. Jin-man worked tirelessly to create a bubble of safety for Jian, shielding her from the threats he once faced. He became her anchor, offering a semblance of normalcy in a world that often felt anything but. But even in their light-hearted games there was purpose. Every playful challenge sharpened her instincts, fortified her strength, and cultivated a resilience she wouldn't fully understand until much later. Jin-man's approach to training was meticulous and disguised as play. He ensured Jian saw it not as a chore, but as an integral, sometimes enjoyable, part of their life together. From a young age, Jian was introduced to martial arts. Jin-man taught her how to strike with precision, evade with agility, and most importantly, defend herself against any threat. But survival isn't just about strength. Jin-man emphasized mental discipline, training her to remain calm under pressure, think critically in high-stakes situations, and always anticipate the next move. And it didn't stop there. From mastering unconventional weapons to first aid, Jin-man ensured Jian's skill set was comprehensive. These weren't just survival skills, they were life skills. But training wasn't enough. Jin-man's instincts as a protector never faded. He made sacrifices, severing ties with Babylon, distancing himself from dangerous allies, and adopting a low-profile life, all to keep Jian safe. Every decision he made was for Jian's safety. His past became a ghost he constantly outran, knowing one wrong move could expose her to danger. In his final moments, Jin-man left behind more than memories. Hidden within their home were clues, a map, weapons, a business of selling weapons and a letter, each designed to guide Jian through the storm that awaited her. Even in apparent death, Jin-man's presence remains. His teachings, his values, his unwavering belief in her, they live on, guiding Jian through every challenge. Jian's ability to outthink her enemies, stay composed under pressure, and make calculated decisions is a testament to the man who raised her. And in moments of doubt, she hears his voice, a steady reminder of the strength within her and the path she must follow. Jin-man wasn't just a guardian, he was Jian's compass, a beacon in a chaotic world. But his influence extends beyond their bond. What does Jin-man truly represent in A Shop for Killers? One of the most poignant moments in Jian and Jin-man's relationship is his simple yet profound promise: if you're ever in danger, just yell my name. This wasn't just a reassurance, it was a lifeline, a symbol of his unwavering presence in her life. During her middle school years, Jian finds herself trapped in a dark basement. Frightened and unsure if anyone will come to her rescue, she cries out for Jin-man. Moments later, the door bursts open. Jin-man stands there, breathing heavily, having fought his way to reach her. Years later at college, Jian faces another perilous moment when a man harasses her. Desperate, she once again calls out his name. The next day, word spreads the man is hospitalized with multiple broken bones, a silent testament to Jin-man's unseen intervention. Even when Jian felt most vulnerable, Jin-man's promise transformed his name into a shield, a reminder that no matter the distance or danger, he would always find a way to protect her. Jin-man knew that his presence alone wouldn't always be enough. To ensure Jian's safety, he created a network of allies, each offering unique skills and unwavering loyalty. Let's start with Honda, a mute arms dealer and one of Jin-man's most trusted confidants. When Jin-man was away, Honda offered Jian a sanctuary and used his mastery in weapons to fend off any threats. Picture Honda standing silently in the shadows as a group of mercenaries approach Jian. Without uttering a word, he eliminates them with precision, guiding Jian to safety with a calm yet commanding presence. Honda's silence spoke louder than any promise, a guardian who stood between Jian and the dangers lurking in the shadows. Let's move on to Pazin, a skilled medic with a background in combat. Pazin not only tended to Jin-man's injuries but also fought fiercely to protect Jian during critical moments. Imagine a dimly lit room where Pazin stitches up a wound on Jian's arm. Despite the tension, his hands remain steady. Moments later, he confronts a group of assassins, using both his medical tools and combat skills to defend her. With Pazin, Jian found both a healer and a warrior, a rare ally in a world where trust was a luxury. And of course we can't forget Minhai, a young woman under Jin-man's protection, gifted in mechanics and combat. Minhai proved her loyalty by assembling weapons under extreme pressure and defending Jian when all seemed lost. Visualize Minhai, surrounded by chaos, rapidly assembling a gun with practiced ease. As attackers close in, she stands her ground, protecting Jian with fierce determination. Minhai was more than just a ward, she was a warrior in her own right, embodying courage in the face of danger. And she had some of the best action scenes in the whole drama. She was a force to be reckoned with. At the heart of Jian's world lies the shop, a neutral ground with one unbreakable rule. As long as Jian is running the shop, no harm shall come to her. This code of conduct, rooted in the respect Jeong Jin-man commanded, ensured the shop remained a neutral ground, a sanctuary where violence was forbidden. Many who frequented the shop adhered to this rule, either out of respect for Jin-man or because they feared the consequences of breaking it. Some, however, went beyond mere compliance. They actively protected Jian because of their loyalty to her uncle. The shop wasn't just a place of business, it was a fragile sanctuary, a bubble of safety amidst a world teetering on chaos. Despite the network of protectors and the sanctuary of the shop, Jin-man's absence created a void that no ally could fill. The weight of responsibility and the constant threat of danger began to take a toll on Jian. Envision Jian sitting alone in the morgue after hours, the quiet enveloping her. She gazes at a photograph of Jin-man, his absence a heavy presence in the room. The world he built for her still stands, but without him, its foundation feels shaky. The world Jin-man built to protect Jian was still standing. But without him, could it hold? Could Jian navigate the dangers alone, or would the cracks in her sanctuary begin to show? Yet just when it seemed like Jian would have to face this dangerous world alone, Jin-man returned, battered but alive, ready to stand by her side once again. Jin-man's reappearance isn't just a plot twist, it's a symbol of hope, resilience, and frankly, unfinished business. Jian spent most of the series fighting her way through assassins, conspiracies, and her uncle's mysterious suicide, all while believing she was alone. But his return? Oh, that changes everything. Suddenly, she has more than just a fighting chance, she has backup. And not just any backup, the legendary Jin-man. Jin-man's return isn't just a second chance, it's a mic drop moment. Proof that sometimes the ones we've lost are still out there fighting, refusing to let the story end. It's the kind of reunion that makes even the most stone-hearted mercenary tear up. Jian, frozen in disbelief, watches as a taxi door opens, and out steps Jin-man, battered, bruised, but unmistakably alive. Time slows. Jian's breath catches. She takes a hesitant step forward, then another, until she's sprinting, tears streaming down her face. Jin-man? He just stands there, offering a quiet, knowing smile, the kind that says, "I never really left." The moment Jian sees him, it's like the world stops spinning. A reunion filled with tears, relief, and the realization that she's not alone anymore. His return isn't just physical, it's a promise. A silent vow that she still has someone she can rely on in a world that's constantly trying to break her. Where was he all this time? And why couldn't he come back sooner? Let's dive into the theories. Imagine Jin-man, the invincible mercenary, caught by Babylon, a ruthless organization known for exploiting the best of the best. They didn't kill him, they used him, keeping him under surveillance while leveraging his skills for their own shadowy purposes. Maybe Jin-man wasn't just hiding, he was working. Infiltrating Babylon from the inside, gathering intel, and waiting for the right moment to strike. The secrecy? A necessity. His inability to return? A calculated risk. Ah, Baal. Jin-man's old rival, equal parts dangerous and vengeful. Some say Jin-man was locked in a deadly chess match with Baal, a battle fought in shadows and whispers. Was Baal a Babylon collaborator? Or Jin-man's ultimate target? Either way, their conflict kept him away, and nearly cost him his life. Was Jin-man a prisoner, a spy, or a warrior locked in a battle only he could fight? The scars he carries suggest a story that's far from over. Jin-man's return isn't a happily ever after, it's the start of a new, even more dangerous chapter. Babylon is still out there, and Baal? He's probably not done seeking revenge. Now, Jian and Jin-man must face a world more treacherous than ever, where every ally could be an enemy, and every move could be their last. His return brings hope, sure, but it also stirs the pot. Old rivalries reignite, new dangers emerge, And the question remains, can Jin-man and Jian survive what's coming next? Or will the past finally catch up with them? Jeong Jin-man isn't just your typical brooding antihero. His character in A Shop for Killers is a nuanced portrayal of redemption, family, and loyalty, wrapped in layers of grit and emotional complexity. Let's dive into the core themes he represents. At the heart of Jin-man's journey lies the quest for redemption. Once a feared mercenary navigating the morally murky waters of contract killing, Jin-man chose to walk away from his violent life. Raising Jian wasn't just about giving her a future, it was his way of making peace with the blood-soaked past. Even when presumed dead, Jin-man's return to Jian is a powerful testament that it's never too late to rewrite your story. His comeback screams, "I may be down, but I'm not out." His tearful reunion with Jian isn't just emotional, it's a symbol of his transformation from a weapon of destruction to a guardian of life. Loyalty is a double-edged sword, and Jin-man knows it all too well. His unwavering commitment to protecting Jian drives much of the series, often at great personal risk. Despite being part of a ruthless underworld, Jin-man adhered to a personal code of honor. This code often clashed with the ambitions of those who sought power at any cost. His loyalty wasn't limited to Jian. Honda and Pazin, his closest confidants, benefited from his protective instincts, even when it meant staring death in the face. Jin-man's life was a constant battle for survival, but his legacy is what truly defines him. Jin-man didn't just fight to survive, he trained Jian to be a survivor, instilling in her the skills to navigate a dangerous world. His influence shaped Jian into a resilient and compassionate warrior. Even after his death, his lessons continue to guide her, making his presence felt in every action she takes. Jian's critical decisions, often guided by Jin-man's wisdom, show how his legacy lives on, even in his absence.
반갑습니다, 고객 여러분. 저는 머더헬퍼의 새로운 주인이 된 정진만의 조카 정잔입니다. 뭐지?
잘 들어, 정진아. 네가 이제 잡아서
In a world filled with shifting allegiances, trust is both a weapon and a weakness. Once an ally, Bale's betrayal shattered any remnants of trust between them, leading to their climactic face-off.
겨우 이거야?
In stark contrast, Jin-man's trust in Jian never faltered. He believed in her ability to carry on his mission and protect herself, even when the odds were against her. Jeong Jin-man isn't just a skilled mercenary, he's the emotional backbone of a shop for killers. His transformation from a cold-blooded assassin to a devoted father figure is a testament to the power of love, loyalty, and the human capacity for redemption. Through his bond with Jian, we see how one person's guidance can profoundly shape another's destiny. Jin-man's sacrifices, life lessons, and unwavering protection molded Jian into a fierce, resourceful survivor who carries his legacy into an uncertain future. And just when we thought his story had reached its end, his dramatic return in the finale reminded us that in a world teeming with danger and betrayal, hope and second chances can still prevail. Whether it's through flashbacks, his network of loyal allies, or his heartfelt reunion with Jian, Jin-man's presence permeates the series, leaving an indelible mark on both the characters and viewers. His journey challenges us to believe in redemption, chosen family, and the resilience to face even the darkest of circumstances. Thank you for joining this deep dive into A Shop for Killers and the unforgettable Jeong Jin-man. If you enjoyed this exploration, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis of your favorite Asian dramas. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep watching.
여러분께서 지금 이대로 돌아가신다면 아무 일도 벌어지지 않을 겁니다. 만약 포기하지 않고 여길 차지하겠다고 계속 덤빈다면 여기서 다 죽게 될 거야.